Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the entire United States. Good morning to the world. Good morning to every nook, cranny, corner that our 100,000 watt transmitter gets to, whether that be northeast Texas, southeast Texas, north and southwest Louisiana. Thank you guys for all being here. And of course, welcome to all the folks that visit us on our chat on a daily basis, twice a day. Anyhow, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. But before we get started, let's get busy with the geniuses in the control room. Good morning, Howard. Good morning, Jack.
Well, good morning, Egberto. It's going to be a very fine day.
Good morning, Egberto.
Buenos dias, hermano. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Sir?
I'm good.
Well, I see that you got an entire page of wisdom for us today, Jack.
Yeah. Do you want it on guns or the kit I got?
Hey, you are I love the kit that you got, man. I love the kit that you got. But, you know, you can put them both together. You're magical.
I'll do the guns tomorrow or Friday. I'll tell you what happened is I received a colon guard test kit in the mail, and my doctor has not said anything about this, so I pretty much suspect this is a scam. Pretty much.
Yeah, I am pretty sure it is.
Because, you know, there are some abuses out there. You know, now that I got Medicare, they're all after the Medicare money.
Jack, what are they going to do with that? You know what that is.
Yeah.
You know what you got to send back to them. What are they going to do with it? How are they going to scam somebody with that?
Well, they're going to, the scam out there is with the colonoscopies that they do. They get you in there thinking it's just a procedure to diagnose, and when they find a polyp, they snip it, and it becomes a surgery, which they can charge more for.
Oh, okay.
So it's just fleecing the people.
That's basically what they do.
Yeah, status quo
it
for
is
the
a complete. It is a complete scam, and I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Jack. And like I told you. What did I tell you again, Jack? I said, you always do this to me, Jack. Why do you do that?
Show derailment.
Well, I tried to get your letter this morning, and usually I look at that before I write something.
You didn't get the letter? It went out. I'm looking at it right now. Sometimes, I don't know, like it gets delayed. I don't know what's going on. I hope everybody got the letter. Let me take a look at some reports to see. Well, yeah, it went out. So look in your junk mail. It probably threw it in your junk mail.
Well,
that's probably what happened.
Speaking of junk mail, the Supreme Court has decided that Donald Trump is not immune to lawsuits.
Oh, wait. When did that happen? I
think it happened yesterday. They missed his defense team missed a filing. And they went, well,
oh, wow.
Okay, here we go. So you know that Donald Trump is going to be a broke man because the lawyers are lining up. When the lawyers smell money, they're going to find any way to get it. And they're smelling lots of money.
Poor innocent Donald Trump.
It's so tragic what's happening to this innocent man who only tried to. I can't even say it. I can't even say it. Not even in jest can I say it.
Overthrow the government and have a dictatorship.
Yeah, I see election interference, causing and inciting a riot in the in the nation's capital, getting people killed on that particular riot, and. What do I didn't do anything wrong. Well, maybe in hell you didn't.
Well, sounds like presidential material to me.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I can't even, not even in jest can I say this stuff because it's not even funny. It's just sad that this is what it's come down to. It's sad that the fact that we follow a crazy man, and I'm following with great interest all these trials. For some reason, not having a life is causing this. So,
yeah, well, you know, it's interesting, but you know what, man? It's great for that. Hey, guess what, guys?
What's that?
Beyonce Beyonce came out with a song, Texas Hold'em, #1 on the country music chart. She's doing a Lionel Richie on us right now. She's getting she's going to be in the R&B, pop, and country charts. Amazing.
Well, it's pretty amazing.
I heard the song last night, and I was following some little skits that they did on TikTok. Yeah, guys, I like TikTok. I like TikTok for history. Okay, for history. Anyway, let's get started. Hey, aren't we in some sort of a fund drive right now?
You would think so, because we are raising funds for KPFT to survive and thrive, and that's what we're going to do. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 will get you to the donation page, and you can also get the Lola Savannah coffee and coffee mug too for a $120 donation for our Caroline Street coffee beans, plus the Caroline Street coffee mug, which is a good looking mug. It's got our building on the front along with a palm tree, which I actually like. So support KPFT, support Politics Done Right, and we'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, well, anyway, folks, we have a lot to cover, including an interview with Senate District 15 young lady, Molly Cook, a registered nurse. That one is going to be like a 13-minute interview. But before we get started with that interview, I see that I think that is the mayor of Politics Done Right that's on the line, if I recognize that call correctly. So let's go to the mayor of Politics Done Right, brother Johnny. I haven't heard from Johnny in a while. Johnny, I've been missing you. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Okay, I guess that's a good thing, since I just talked to you the other day this week, didn't I?
No, you did not. You called You Talk. You didn't call me. In fact, you spoke to me on You Talk, which I love, Steve Hunter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's proof of life.
But I'm saying he just refused to wake up in the morning, every morning, to listen to Politics Done Right, and I'm so hurt.
Yeah, that's proof of life.
Brother.
I'm still above ground, so there you go. I'm wondering about, that was great news that Captain Reynolds' rap delivered a few minutes ago about the Supreme Court. I totally forgot about that to check the news, so I'm really happy today hearing that they actually did the right thing for once, those Republicans on the Supreme Court. But my thought goes to this news about the Cola Guard and Magic Jack being on Medicare. With regards to Donald Trump, being that he's a former U.S. president, and I hate saying that all in the same sentence with regards to Donald Trump, does he get Cola Guard in the mail too? Is he part of the Medicare system, or is he a special system for U.S. presidents, I wonder?
I think, don't they all qualify for Walter Reed all the time, even after their presidency? I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me that if he has a Social Security number and he is Medicare age, that that somebody named Donald J. Trump would actually get it in the mail as well if they find where he lives, which is in Mar-a-Lago.
I gotta wonder what it's like for the person who's employed to put mailing labels on these boxes and ship them out. Do they ever see the name and the address and they go, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on, let's conveniently lose this box"? And I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that, because he's wearing diapers anyway. So what's Cola Guard going to do for him? It's not going to save his sorry butt.
Hey, I have a rant on. I told Jack, when Jack told me the story this morning, that I had a rant, that he changed the subject of the program today once again. I do want to rant about the Cola Guard, and more than the Cola Guard. So because I tied it into a story that came out, I think it was Thursday, and earlier last week, as well as a story on lupus. Jack just bringing that up kind of forced me to tie 3 stories together. So are you done that I can get started on this what I think is an important rant?
We're almost there, Berto. One quick thing about colonoscopies. It's not that straightforward and as simple as people like to think. And you could ask your daughter, who's a medical doctor. She will verify this. Before you get your exam, you want to inquire as to your cardiovascular health, because doctors often forget to do that. And then you go for your procedure, and guess what? There's a complication.
What?
and you could wind up being severely impaired in a nursing home or dead.
Okay.
It depending on the skill of the physician who's doing the procedure. So I just want to put that in everybody's ear. So I'm done.
Well, thank you for that, Johnny. As I said, we have the most informed listeners, and we try to get ourselves informed together. So thank you for that information.
It's a team effort. Have a good day.
You have a good one too, sir. All right, folks, let's get busy here. Like I said, with unsolicited, I repeat, unsolicited, right here in our studio, Jack gets one of those new type colonoscopy products. I've seen these products advertised over and over on TV. I mean, sometimes in 1 hour, you see that one advertising several times, right? Now, these drugs these drugs, tests, or whatever they are, cost a lot of money. It doesn't cost a lot of money. They charge you a lot of money for these products. So that's a baseline. Now, Jack is on Medicare and he received this product unsolicited. In other words, he didn't ask for it. The marketing departments of these drug companies say, look at this. We have somebody who is on Medicare. We can get on welfare by going to the government and having them pay for this not a colonoscopy, but this product that has a fairly good track rate to determine if you have a polyp or not, or cancer or not, from a stool sample. And so they send that to Jack. Jack could have said, oh, wow, I didn't have to call in and get this Cologuard or whatever. I can just go ahead and do the sample, send it in, and they'll tell me if I need to go for further tests, get a colonoscopy, get extraction of what they don't tell you is, whereas, Obamacare will pay for everybody to get a colonoscopy on all these things. When I say Obamacare, I mean the law made sure that Medicare and all these other insurances have to give you that as a part of the insurance. What they don't tell you is if they find a polyp, if they find certain things in you, that isn't covered because it is no longer a precautionary test. It's no longer screening, but it's now surgery. And guess who knew that? Brother Jack knew that. So Jack said, I'm not messing with this stuff unless for some reason I think I need to. In my case, I don't touch any of these things because I understand that our medical system is a scam. But anyhow, so they do that. Why I want to bring this up, and there is a new drug, well, or rather, a very old drug that got approved for a new cause, a new diagnosis, if you will, called Xolair. Anybody who has asthma knows that there's this drug that one of the options that they would give you called Xolair. Its other name is omalizumab. Omalizumab. Now, this drug, now that it's going to be prescribed for peanut allergies, etc., will run you about $5,000 a month. That's a list price, $5,000 a month. So we have a drug that if your kid has a peanut allergy, can run up to $5,000 a month. That's $60,000 a year. I want you to know that's, even if I remember correctly, either above or close to the median salary before taxes of Americans. It is crazy. One drug for a peanut allergy. If you have one kid with a peanut allergy, or if you have a peanut allergy, one disease in your family can wipe out your entire monies that you probably don't have after taxes, all that good stuff. There's another drug that came out quite a while. My wife, who has lupus, was a beta tester. I'm thinking software was a when you're in the trial programs, was a member of the trial program for Benlysta for lupus. In my opinion, right, based on the severity of her lupus and even where her lupus is right now, I think Benlysta did very little for her. In her case, we have the results. So Benlysta don't even try coming and say, look, you're maligning our drug. No, your drug for my wife just didn't work. Okay. But I guess it worked for a small percentage of or enough people that they approved this drug for lupus. You know what has worked for my wife? Working out, eating right, and taking the olden days drugs that's been around for over 100 years. That still works, and it has kept her alive for several decades. Now, for this one drug that keeps her alive, she's paying less than $10 a month. Actually, with her insurance, she pays $0. But I'm saying if she were to buy it out of pocket, would be $10 a month or so. Old drug. Benlysta will cost her over $1,500 to $4,000 a month, depending on insurance companies, etc. Again, a lot of your money. I want to let you know why I'm presenting the case this way. I'm not sure why that is happening, but please tell me if it continues, but it shouldn't. I'm looking at the levels and they look about the same.
Yeah, you seem to be fluctuating a little bit. I don't know why.
Okay, maybe I need to keep my head more stable, because when I get excited, I move my head a lot.
Man, so you were at the pulpit telling the truth of the Lord.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. But so that was going to cost my wife if she went onto the trial drug. And remember, let me tell you how evil these companies are. She was a trial. When she got off of the trial, there wasn't no offer that says, since we used you as a guinea pig, you can continue using this drug for life because you helped us develop it. There are a lot of people that are on trials. And after the trials are over, it's not like they get the drug for free. A drug that normally from a point of manufacture usually costs pennies per dosage. Nope. At that point, if she was prescribed that drug to use after the trial, she would have had to pay those several $1,000s for the drugs. Let me explain what I talked to Brother Jack about. Whenever we talk about we need a system at least as good as, let's say, what's in England or the Great Britain, what's in Canada, what's in France, what's in Taiwan. Every single one of them, the people live longer, nobody can go bankrupt, and maybe you want to call it socialized medicine. I don't care what you want to call it. The fact that we allow these corporations to put in our minds that having a one entity pay your bill for healthcare and having your government realize its investment in healthcare, because your government, we the people, we constantly initially develop these drugs, whether it be research at a university or the documents and research capabilities that these universities have given to private corporations from which to develop the drugs. The education of the people who work at these corporations, who then develop these drugs from the technology and knowledge they had gotten from being in a public university. You paid for it. And then you come out and you pay for these bills. We have got to be out of our minds to let them convince us that saying, you know what? You guys have been unable to give us a product at a price that doesn't bankrupt us, at a price that doesn't take all our disposable income and more. If you guys can't do it, it means the private sector has failed. And what I'm saying right now in healthcare, based on everybody's concern because of what our healthcare costs and because of the outcomes relative to other industrialized countries in the world, our healthcare system is a failure. We can have the best technologies on the planet, which we do. We have the best technology on the planet, but the marketing and the capitalism that drives the marketing of the drugs is such that it makes it a failure. And until we as a society, until we as people stop being snowed by corporations indoctrinating us, lying to us, having us believe fallacies, we would have earned we would have gotten what we've earned, what we've deserved. And that is allowing them to mess with our minds such that when a Jack comes out and says, yes, I do believe we need a single payer system. Yes, I do believe we either tell drug companies that any research that was built on prior research from public universities, etc., we, the people, get a piece of the action. You know what that means? If they want to charge $1 million for a drug, let them. We tax it right back out of them and make sure the drugs are available to people. People, we have to smarten up. The only solution to our healthcare problem, it's a mathematical solution, a single payer system. Also, the drug sector, the ones that invent drugs, aren't really the inventors of the drugs. The drugs are invented from the knowledge that you have paid for to the people at these universities who have developed these drugs and worked for companies who are a failure in delivering you healthcare at a cost you can afford. That, by all definitions, is a failure. And we are marketing, we are supporting, we are investing in a failure day after day. We must stop being hoodwinked. We must stop being fooled, indoctrinated with the fallacies that they come out with. They've studied how to control your mind. Let's deprogram ourselves and start looking for the solutions. Healthcare for all, single payer systems, get the private sector that overcharges out of the development of drugs that ultimately we have already paid for. And when they tell you innovation will stop, meaning inventions of new drugs will stop, I want you to use your minds again. One more time, and then we'll go into TED. One more time. Remember this. Most of the people working at drug companies inventing, innovating, developing drugs, let me tell you a magical thing. They are salaried employees. Again, they are salaried employees. What that means is when that drug gets developed and they overcharge for the drugs, and you go to Wall Street and you see all the great profits that these guys are making, it's not the salaried employees that are profiting from that, even if they have stock options, because relative to what the executives and the shareholders are going to make from that profit, it proves to you the lie that is, we need to have these high prices to create innovation. That is not true. That is provably false if we decide to open our minds to learn. I want to thank Hadir. Thank you so kindly for being the first contributor of the day. Folks, please give us a call at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738, extension number 1. We need your support so that we can continue to have these conversations, a lot of them initiated by Jacques. We need to continue enlightening ourselves so that we're not fooled by the propaganda, so that we're not fooled by what you hear on TV and think because it's on TV, it's true. Because we read it in a newspaper, it is true. Because let's start using our own thoughtful thinking methodology. Ted, come on into the program. Thank you so kindly for waiting.
Topic you were talking about, there was Katie, and I think her name is Porter.
from the representative from California, the one that always uses the whiteboard.
Katie Porter. Katie Porter.
Yeah. She was. She pointed out that the money, the profits, all go to corporate executives who basically contribute nothing. I mean,
true.
And she. So. Yeah, true. It goes there. It doesn't go to innovation. She was pointing out, you say it goes to innovation, but instead it goes to you,
Right. Anything else you want to add, Ted?
Well, I wanted to talk about something off subject that pretty much is kind of annoying me. Okay. And I can't find anybody to respond to me. But it's about Israel.
Okay.
So I am very confused and perturbed by the fact that people who ordinarily seem reasonable to me, people that are tolerant and progressive, are just fine with these so-called Palestinians, which are basically Arabs that live close to Israel. They kill homosexuals, they abuse women and yet everybody takes their side, and I'm just confused by that. I think these people are just horrible terrorists. The first thing Hamas did was take everyone that they thought was a homosexual and throw them off of the tallest building in Gaza. And it sounds sensational, but it's documented that that's what they did. And, they use children as shields and all kinds of stuff. And I don't know why otherwise reasonable people back them up so much. It just blows me away.
All right, good. I'm glad. Let me tell you, you just changed, like Jack changed the subject of the program. The piece that I was going to do with the politician, because I think it is the subject you brought up is so important. I think I can speak about it in a measured way and I'm glad you called with this because this hurts
you
me
you're just always so pro-Palestinian, and I am
that's what I'm glad. You notice I made you say everything that you said because I wanted everybody to hear absolutely everything you had to say. And let me tell you why.
I'm listening.
I love that you were able to say all these things that you felt about Palestine. And I know the only way you say that is because that is what you were informed of. You are not a bad person. You're a good person. That's how you were informed. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I just need a quick answer. Do you know the history of the formation of, and by the way, for my Jewish brothers and sisters living,
I do. I do.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Started in the late 19th century, early 20th century. Zionism began, and
let's back up.
Purchasing property in
Ted, can I ask
the Ottoman Empire, and then
Ted. Please. The way we have a conversation is we speak one at a time.
Well, you asked me what the history was, and I was telling you.
And it was a yes or no answer. That's all it was. I asked
yes, I know.
Yes or no.
I know.
Thank you. All right. So please, I also gave you a chance to give your entire narrative. So I ask you to listen to mine, my brother. But beforehand, I wanted to put out to my Jewish brothers and sisters that this is just an objective statement, and anybody who thinks otherwise, the line is open for you to talk. For a long time, I wasn't going to talk about this subject at KPFT. I do it on my internet program because of the problems it creates. But what I want to do is I think we need to talk about it, because now we have 1,200 Israelis in the original event dead, and subsequent to that, over 30,000 Palestinians and economic destruction now. So I think any human being who see the death of people, this is a subject that I think we need to discuss. It's immoral, I think, now not to discuss it. And I don't hold, to my Jewish brothers and sisters, there's nothing anti-Semitic in what I'm going to say here. In fact, there's not a racist a racist anti-Semitic bone in my thought process at all. But here we go. Now, we could have start from the official creation of Israel in 1948, but I won't go there, because we could also go to the official creation of the United States of America, and we'll run into some of the same issues. So I want to start from, let's say, today. That's all. I mean, because if we look at how nations were born, there's a lot of killing, pilfering, genocide. We are just as guilty as any other country for doing these things in the formation of our country. If we decide to be honest about it, that's how countries around the world are formed. There's nothing nice about how they were formed. But as we socialize, as we become more civilized, is what I should say, we learn not to pilfer, we learn not to kill, etc. I don't think the IDF in Israel.
Well, we learn to respect the humanity of the native people, right?
Yes, we respect humanity, and we respect all of humanity. Now, the only way an intelligent, I would, based on your concern, I would expect a nice person like yourself could look at what's occurring in Israel right now. Again, the Hamas is a terrorist organization that murdered 1,200 Israeli. That's horrendous. That is horrendous.
Right.
But the asymmetric response from Israel is actually worse. And here's the thing that gets me with what you said. You pointed out some realities about people within the Arab community and the Palestinian community. Yes, guess what? There are groups of them that do hate gays, do subjugate women. All of that is true. But you know what is also true? That occurs in America, not to the extent to sometime, but that occurs in America whenever you hear about a murder of a gay person in Wisconsin because they're gay, whenever you see the racial issues because of different ethnicities in the United States and elsewhere. There are a lot of bad people around in the world, but you know what? We have mostly good of.
But they aren't official. They aren't the official government response.
Again, let me finish my. Ted,
okay, but
my narrative, please.
You're
if you interrupt me, Ted, I gave you.
But
I allowed you to.
Equating,
Ted, hold on.
You are equating the behavior of deranged individuals with the behavior of a government.
You're absolutely
entity
wrong, Ted. Ted, I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance to speak for a whole 5 minutes to tell your narrative. So now you should give me the same respect. I gave you the respect to allow you to speak the entire time. So please be quiet and allow me to speak. Be quiet then. Stop it. Now let's start. Let me finish. Now, you can the same evils that you have in different groups. And whenever you tell me, if you look at me and said, well, the evil that is being done by the Palestinians under the auspices of Hamas is being done by the government, that shouldn't really matter. It should not really matter. And why shouldn't it matter? Because and again, what I tell a lot of us as Americans is it would be good if we learned more international policy and international realities. The United States, the same thing, by the way, the same thing that Israel, the IDF is doing in Palestine, the United States did in Panama. That is why it touches my heart as it does. Because to get one person America deemed evil, Manuel Antonio Noriega, they they bombed down over 10,000 Panamanians. Okay, in other words, those lives it didn't matter because we wanted to get the guy we determined was bad. The same thing is happening with the IDF. Hamas is terrible. And to get to Hamas, who has been hiding behind innocent people, we were willing to kill 30,000 people to get to those people we want to kill, we don't like. If you cannot see the asymmetry there, if one cannot see that those lives are valuable too, that only comes from being indoctrinated by stating a fact that says they are less human. The only reason you can look at a baby that's cracked up and bent up and dead and busted up and not feel it in your heart. I mean, I am telling you, when I watch the news sometimes and I see the devastation that is occurring in Gaza, the first thing that comes to mind to me isn't, well, Hamas are bad people, and because Hamas are bad people, I am going to justify busting up and removing the limbs and killing and destroying the entire infrastructure of the place. When the first thing I see is that dead baby. But if you think of those people as less than human or less than you or less than whatever, then what happens to them doesn't hit your humanity. And all of this is done calculatively. In other words, the only way, Ted, you can see that. The only way you can see that and see 30,000 dead people versus 1,200 dead people and not feel it in your heart that there's something wrong there, it's because of the external forces that has gotten into your mind that tells you there is.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying you're blaming the wrong people.
Wait, I'm saying the rationale that don't allow you to see the humanity of the 30,000 dead innocent people that had nothing to do with Hamas, and see them dead, busted up, see the entire infrastructure the way it is right now, see that these people are millions are living in tents in hunger, in thirst. And you can say, well, Hamas is because Hamas is hiding behind.
Wasn't Hamas elected? Wasn't Hamas elected?
But we also elected Trump, didn't we? We also elected Bush, who killed 10,000 Panamanians. Yeah, we did. We elect a lot of people that do things we hope they wouldn't do. All right. So if you want to, it's collective punishment. If you want to say those 30,000 people deserve to die because they elected Hamas. So again, what I'm saying, Brother Ted, is the following. The only way you can see 30-something thousand dead people, kids annihilated, busted up, is if you can say they are not as human as I am. They're not as human as the everyday Israeli who 10 miles up the road are going to cafes every day as these people live in an utter misery. And that's my thing isn't pro-Palestinian. I'm pro-Palestinian. I'm pro-Israeli. I am. I absolutely am. But there is no way, my brother, that I can say what the IDF is doing is right. And I don't think if you decide to look at those people as human as you are, there's no way you can do the same. Ted, my phone is ringing and I got to pick it up. So,
but the IDF is trying to kill terrorists.
Look, stop for a second. I got to hang up on you now, Ted. I want you to think about not what you're saying. I want you to think about what I said. Thank you. Let's go back, Patrick. Come on in. But before I get to Patrick, I want to go do a quick pitch. Folks, I ask you so kindly, please give us a call at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Extension number 1 to donate. We can $5 contribution. A $5 contribution, just a coffee a month, will take us a distant. You don't feel it, but we do. A $10 contribution per month. I tell you, you don't feel it, we do. again, it's something that keeps this station alive. It's something that allows us to give not alternative facts, but allows us to give the facts. So please support the program. 713-526-5738. I'm going to go to Patrick real quick and then Alistair. Patrick, come on in. It's going to turn red in a minute. Let's see. Patrick, let's see. As soon as they get to you, Patrick, we'll go ahead and get you on. But it's about to turn red that I can see you in a minute. So we'll wait a minute and get to Patrick in a minute. All right. It's coming up. But anyway, folks, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to contribute to the show. We only have 1 contributor. I need at least 5 more. Let's go to Patrick. Come on in, Patrick. Patrick, you're on. Patrick, you're on. Maybe you're on mute, Patrick. Okay. I don't have Patrick yet, so I'm going to keep telling folks to call 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to be a part of the program. Patrick, if you're there, we have you on air, but we cannot hear you. So 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Extension number 1 to contribute. $100 for the Politics Done Right t-shirt. $100 for the Politics Done Right t-shirt with the KPFT logo. Pretty t-shirt with that blue thing on it. So please give us a call and get the t-shirt, or you can do otherwise as well. 713-526-5738. Let's see if we can get Sandy hot. Let's see if we can get Sandy on because Patrick doesn't seem to be responding. Sandy, are you there? Sandy, you're hot. Maybe it's a telephone thing that we're having right now because I don't hear you either.
Could be. Hello? Can you hear me?
No. Okay, I hear you now, Sandy. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, I feel just like that guy on the cell phone commercial. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Well, good morning, Egberto. And once again, thank you for doing another edition of Politics Done Right. Egberto is there every morning for you at 6 a.m. He's been asking for you to call and donate to KPFT to support his efforts and all of our efforts at 90.1. We survive on listener donation. We are coming to the end of the second week with 1 week to go to make our goal of $150,000. We've crossed the $97,000 mark on our way on up today, but we could sure use your help. Looks like Hadir chimed in this morning and joined with a sustaining pledge, which is an excellent way to start our day here. He joined at a level that will allow him to get those coffee and beans if he wants. Coffee combo, which is a Caroline Street coffee mug designed by our own Jill Morgenstern, and a pound of Lola Savannah Colombian Supremo beans. That comes to you for a $120 donation to KPFT. Or if you want to join as a sustainer like Hadir, then you join at $20 a month or more, and you'll get the coffee and beans automatically in addition to whatever gift you choose. But it's really not the thank you gift that everyone is after here. What we're after here is the survival of 90.1 KPFT in Houston Community Radio, soon to be 54 years old on March 1st. So we have just a few days and we're no longer 53. We're onward to 54. And a couple of years ago, many of you out in the listening public and certainly those involved in KPFT really doubted that we would see this day. But here we are nonetheless. And things are turning around, and they can be even better with your call, 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Whatever it is that you would like to get as a thank you, a shirt, a hoodie, if you pledge the appropriate amount, that would be on the way to you. But again, the biggest thank you is having this piece of media, this free speech platform by which we can do Politics Done Right and the other great shows you hear, Egberto.
Thank you, my brother. That is Sandy Wyman, our listen to me. Anyway, he's our general manager, and he is instrumental in turning us around and getting us out of the dark spell we were in for a while. Erica, you can call 713-526-5738 extension 1 for a one-time contribution if you want to do it, or if you want to do a check, they'll tell you how to do that as well. Anyway, let's go to Alistair real quick, and I'm going to have to keep the comments now to about 45 seconds because I got into these rants, important rants that you guys started, but I had to answer. Come on in. My beautiful sister, Alistair from Conroe, Texas. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Egberto. Good morning, everybody. I knew somebody would bring up that, wasn't Hamas elected. And I'm glad that you said, yeah, and we elected Trump. We do have a similar narrative. We're left with little choice. Currently, we're left with a limited choice. And like most politicians, Hamas made promises, and the people that did elect them, whatever reason they elected them, it was for a hope of a better life for themselves and their communities. Now, not saying Hamas is good by any means. Hamas is evil. But when you're left with a bad and a bad, or a bad and a worse to choose from, which way are you going to go? And that doesn't, people don't have the foresight to see who is evil, who is going to turn evil when they have on a cloak that hides their identity.
Very true.
It's
Alistair.
so
Look,
wrong
Alistair,
to live an eye for an eye. It's so wrong.
Alistair, you're absolutely right. Alistair, I gotta thank you so kindly, first of all, for calling. We have a bunch of calls, so I want to get everybody in. So thank you so kindly for those words, okay?
Absolutely. Stay safe and blessed, y'all.
All right, let's go to Patrick. Come on in, Patrick. I know you called before. Sorry we missed you somehow. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. About 45 seconds, my brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Back to, I think his name was Jack, the guy that was unsympathetic towards Palestinians.
Yes.
The Palestinians waited about 60 years for the international community to help them out. They've been systematically starved. The Israeli government, it's the government, not the people, calculate how many calories they can have. It's just enough to get by. They were imprisoned in land that was theirs first. They're given no freedom. When they do protest it, they're shot in legs, arms. The Israeli IDF aims at their heads with gas canisters. What happened should have been expected long before that. I'm not justifying it, but if a group of people are waiting for help and everybody denies it, that's the fastest way to make a terrorist. And I'm not saying the Palestinians are terrorists. They voted in somebody that they thought would help because they were absolutely desperate and nobody else would.
Patrick, first of all, there's a lot to the story, and you nailed quite a few of them. And this is nothing anti-Semitic to just say what happened and what we need for a solution. And I know one thing: Netanyahu is not the solution. If you want the solution, look at all the many Jewish groups right here in the United States who are fighting what Netanyahu is doing and who really wants to be in concert with their Palestinian brothers and sisters. So thank you so kindly, Patrick, for calling.
They want him arrested.
Absolutely. Let's go to Bard. Come on in, Bard. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good. Yes. What makes America great or used to was borders. Who has the strongest borders in the world is Israel. These people were let in on their hang gliders and whatever other way they came in. This was staged. You said, talking about war in Panama and Bush, and you mentioned Trump. I don't know why you mentioned him and not Biden. Trump didn't have us in a war. Trump's the only president that never had us in any war.
No, actually,
and now we got
Carter.
Biden's got us in three wars. He's got us in Ukraine, Israel, and he's trying to start Taiwan up. And they're wanting money for all this. And the congressmen have dual citizenship with Israel.
Right. Okay. I thank you for your commentary, Bard. I don't have the time to answer it in the detail that I need to answer it, but let's talk about this some other day. But let me just say that your initial narrative, the proof that what Hamas did, proof number one, that walls don't work. Number two, that this strict borders, as well as you'd like to define it, isn't this what made America great? And let's also remember our foundation before you make comments like that. Remember the American foundation. But we'll talk another time, Bart, and I appreciate you calling as usual. You have a wonderful day. Let's go to Harry. Harry, I can only give you 45 seconds as well. Come on in, Harry. Let's have a little chat, my brother Harry. Folks, while Harry gets on, please call 713. Oh, I see. Susan, thank you so kindly for your contribution. Please join Susan as well, 713-526-5738. We are still about 250 away from our goal, 713-526-5738. Hey, somebody can close it up right away. Coffee with Egberto for a $250 contribution. And we sit down and I promise you a good chat that we are going to be sitting with a cup of coffee and having. Go ahead. Did you want to say something? I heard somebody. I thought I heard Howard, but anyhow, 713.
You did. You heard me.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, we were just having a little issue with our Zoom with Sandy today. And I actually don't have my headphones on, but I'm going to put them on because I can speak. And now I can hear you. And now I've got my headphones on. Okay, Sandy, can you hear us now?
Have your first name?
Yes, sir.
And we can hear you too.
There we go.
Amazing when a plan comes to action.
Okay, well, look, we're at 51. So let me give Harry 30 seconds. Harry, 30 seconds. I can't see you and not give you 30 seconds. Come on in real quick, but 30 seconds. Oh, it's going to come right this minute as soon as they get to the phone. All right. I'll wait. Anyway, Sandy, go ahead and pitch for me, please.
Certainly. Sorry about the difficulty this morning. There's nothing like technology, folks, which is a constant reminder of what we need to do to keep KPFT on the air. We have a hello.
Hold on, Harry. Let Sandy finish. Go ahead.
Hi, Harry. Hang on for a minute. In fact, Harry, if you'd like, call back when you're done and make a pledge. And that goes to everybody calling in today. It's a fine example of using KPFT as a community resource as we have these discussions. The essential part of Houston is KPFT. It is a bridge to one another. You may be calling in from all parts of this city or even from outside of Texas somewhere to have this discussion. The facility is there because the listeners fund it. Please join Susan and Hadir this morning. We're a couple of $100 away from making the goal. As Egberto said, somebody signing up for coffee with Egberto would get us there. Don't miss this opportunity to continue this almost 54-year-old experiment in the heart of Houston, Texas. Call 713-526-5738. Hit option 1 and talk to our donation center. Or if you'd like to do this on the web, go to kpft.org and click donate. There are a plethora of options for you to make a donation, including PayPal. If you go to our website, 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Egberto?
Thank you very much. Hey, Harry, I got to hold you to 30 seconds because I want to get everybody in. So come on in, brother. Harry, you are a regular. Let's get busy. Harry, you're on.
I've been born with asthma. I was born with asthma and born with a peanut allergy. I tried not to eat anything with all my life with peanuts in it. I do have good asthma medications, but that $5,000, that's big pharma gouging people, that I don't have to play with. And, I'll talk to my doctor. So I have to see him in about 3 weeks about that Zolair. But we got to vote in more progressives, vote in more Bernie Sanders type people so you can get.
Name it. Got to cut you. You're absolutely right, Harry. Thank you, brother. Brian, give me 30 seconds. Brian, come on in 30 seconds. I got to get my Brian in. Come on in, Brian.
Okay. I don't have much opposition, but if all your listeners just donate, you still get to talk to him. That's all I got to say. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you, Brian. Appreciate you. Let's go to Donald. Donald, 30 seconds.
Good morning, Alberto. I'm going to correct you real quick. You say how great our medical system is. Remember, this is your new statement. It's the best that money can buy. Because if you can't buy it, you don't get it. And donate to KPFT.
Donald, I thank you so kindly for correcting me, but you are absolutely right. We are at 6:55. I need to get some donations in. So my brothers and my sisters, please give me a call. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. $5 a month. I know you don't feel that as you give the corporations for cable and other things hundreds of dollars a month. Please think about what we bring to the table. Please remember, this is your platform. Please remember, you can come out like all these people that you hear call. Half of them agree with what I'm saying, half don't, but we have a conversation because we respect each other. We teach how to respect each other. That's how we're going to move forward, folks. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Contribute in the name of Politics Done Right, or go to kpft.org and go ahead and select one of the many options that we have. I want to give a big thank you to Jimmy. Jimmy, you are a wonderful person. Thank you so kindly. I'm going to pass it back to our general manager. General manager, come on in, Sandy.
Again, that would be interim, as we all are, Egberto.
Yes.
Yes. Jimmy, thank you very much. You just put Egberto over the top for today, but there's still room for you. In fact, the more people that
I'm behind
on a faster, we're always behind it on the pledge drive. It seems
for the other days, yeah.
So, folks, look, just keep the phone ringing. We can get to our goal today if everybody bothers to call and throw in $20. We would do it right now with the thousands of people listening to this program and participating every morning. This is a wonderful platform. I have nothing but good things to say about what Egberto has done with the care of this time that that Pacifica has allotted for Politics Done Right. There's an active conversation every morning. I'm so tempted just to continue this again until quarter after or 20 after, as we did yesterday when Kim Ogg was on the phone with us. This is exactly what we need to get to an understanding with one another. We are becoming more polarized. And let me tell you, if you turn the news on and you're an avid news watcher or reader, it doesn't help because they're pounding the points of division. Dialogue. What we're doing here today is the antidote and the bridge to peace. 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. Join Jimmy, Susan, and Hadir. Become a sustainer. Your pledge will be matched with a $50 bill, no matter at $5 a month or $500 a month. So come on, 713-526-5738. Pledge $20 or more on a sustaining basis. You'll get the coffee and the cup and whatever other thank you would like. And if that's not your bet, then get that Politics Done Right t-shirt for $100 and you'll look good wearing that around, and people will go, "Where'd you get that?" And you will say, "KPFT, Houston." Back to you, Egberto. Wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you so kindly to Jack, Howard, Sandy. My name is Egberto Willis. Eric, thank you, brother. Eric, thank you. You got coffee, my brother. You got coffee. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right, and you know I end this baby. I am what? Out.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.